most awakening gifts I could have imagined. And initially, it came through suffering. It came through a feeling like, first of all, what am I doing with kids? I don't want kids. I haven't even been a kid yet. I've been like raising all my brothers and sisters my whole life, and then I go and next thing I know, I'm having kids. So here I am with 3 kids and feeling like I don't even know what I'm doing. So the first one, I'm trying all this different disciplinary stuff. Like, okay, you go to a preparatory school and make good grades and make sure that you do all your homework. And whenever she'd mess up, I'd put her on restriction. Send her to military school. Well, by the time she was 17, she's telling me, oh, hey, Mom, guess what? I'm pregnant. And I'm like, oh, I so failed. And you're on restriction, by the way, until you turn 18. So that went, it became a miscarriage, and then something shifted in me like, wow, why am I working so hard? Why am I working so hard on this? This seems to just be going. Why am I trying so hard? And so it was revealed to me at that moment. I had 2 younger kids. One was just born. One was maybe like a year old. The other one probably, I don't know, 10 years old, 9, 10 years old. And I go, what if I don't really have to work that hard? It seems like it's just going the way it goes anyways. What if I really don't have to work that hard? So then my kid, my older boy said, you know what, Mom, I don't want to go to school anymore. My book is called Unschooling for Parents, by the way. He said, I don't want to go to school anymore. And I was like, oh man, you know what? I've been making your sister go to school all these years. I do not want to make you go to school. It sounds like a pain in the butt. So I get on Google and I start going, okay, what's the deal with this? Like, do I have to send my kid to school? Do I really have to send my kid to school if they don't want to go? And so I find out about this homeschooling community, and I start hanging out with them, and it's all about all this work you have to do. You get to do more work now. As a homeschooling mom, now you have to do all this other work. You have to not only make them do it, but you're in charge of the curriculum now. And I looked at my son, I go, are you into that? And he goes, no, I don't want you to be my teacher. And I was like, I don't want to be your teacher. And so I look a little further and I find this thing called unschooling. I don't know if you guys ever heard of unschooling, but basically you let the kid decide what their curriculum is going to be. And you support it. Basically you just support it. It's like, really happy. Oh, what do you want to do today? Oh, I feel like looking into, let's go to Disneyland. Okay, let's go to Disneyland. So I go, oh, that sounds really cool. And you know what? The thing about it was, I started doing that with my son. I was like, okay, you're out of school. You're doing whatever you want to do. Started doing that with my son, and he's on the video game just constantly, just all day long. And so I'm tripping out. I'm going, oh my God, what is going to be coming of him? I'm thinking of this guy who's like 35 years old, totally pale, sitting in the basement, you know, eyes bugging out, hands on a keyboard, Cheetos in the other hand. And I'm going, oh man, I'm going to be such a failure as a mom. So I call up my mentor and I say, you know what? All he's doing is playing video games. And she goes, what's your problem with that? And so I told her all these fears. She goes, that's all make-believe. That's all make-believe. So you think that he shouldn't have his freedom because of your fears? And I go, huh. She's like, just let him play video games. All he wants. Okay. So it occurs to me, wait a minute, he can do whatever he wants. That means I can do whatever I want too. So I was the one who received the unschooling, maybe more than he did. He's actually 18 now, and he's on his senior year of high school. He decided on his own to go back to school at a certain point, and he really liked it, joined the wrestling team. But for me, I go, wait a second, this whole thing, it unraveled this whole thing about the obligation that we automatically take on growing up in a society. We take on an obligation about how we're supposed to be. what our duties are and how we're supposed to behave. So I realized, wow, I've been behaving according to how people think I should be. And I'm actually free, just like this child. There's not really a difference. So, in allowing myself to be free, what do I really like to do right now? You know, like the last author said, you know, coming from the heart. Coming from the heart. It's like moment to moment. It's not like in the future. What really speaks to me right now? Maybe it's a bath. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's actually doing some work. I don't know. Could be that too. That pops up too. But just in allowing it a free flow. I may have an idea of what my schedule looks like today, but in allowing a free flow. And when that fear strikes you, like, oh my gosh, that's the opportunity. That's the opportunity for this depth of experience. This depth of experience where you see that you're really not obligated to follow any kind of thing, and your spirit is speaking to you always. So you kind of sink into a blissful state, and all of your relating comes from there. So I start to see how my relationships with my kids, which were very tense up to, and including even after I started unschooling, because there was a time where I had to go through these intense emotions where it actually felt like I hate my life and I want to die. That was the thought that occurred to me in my mind. I hate my life and I want to die. I'm like, who said that? Where did that even come from? You know? And so in allowing that to be like that, it's like, wow, everyone lives with that. And some people say, no, not me. Not me, I don't live with that. Well, okay. Yeah, it's very unseen until there's a willingness to see it. It's not like it's a personal thing, it's a universal thing. So whenever my kids would get upset, I would get upset back to them and realize, oh, wait a minute, I have all the power here. It's all me. It's all me. So I started to sit with that pain. I started to sit with it, and it would show me over and over again how important and precious this gift is that my kids are giving me. And so over time, all kinds of different experiences, which I write about in my book. One of the subtitles is A Mystic's Guide to Awakening with Children. I have a mystical background. And there are all kinds of different experiences, even really, practical things like brushing your teeth, for instance. People go, how can you say your kid doesn't have to brush their teeth? And it's like, there aren't any teeth, and that's coming from a mystical perspective. There aren't any teeth. That's something that we're imagining so that we can bring up a sense of guilt here, of obligation here. Hey, you need to brush your teeth, because if you don't brush your teeth, then this is going to happen down the road. I'm going to have to take you to the dentist. They're going to be questioning me on why I didn't make you brush your teeth, and now you have cavities. See? So all of that chit-chat, meaningless, totally meaningless. And when I start to apply that mystical understanding to the raising of kids, I start to see how utterly ridiculous it is. And there's no reason for any kind of struggle. It's like, I don't want to brush my teeth. Oh, okay. No problem. People go, what's going to happen? I don't know. Let's wait and see. Let's see what happens. What if their teeth rot out? Then that's the experience. It's what's going on here is an empty space, and we're interpreting energy. There's a brain interpreting energy and making images out of it. Really, it makes no sense at all. Like this brain is trying to make sense of it, and we don't understand that. We don't really understand it, but we pretend to understand it, and especially as parents, think that we know what our kids should be doing. Think that we know I know from my experience that if you don't brush your teeth, for one thing, you're breasting, and for two, I end up in trouble because you're at the dentist and I didn't make you brush your teeth, and that's very shameful. Yeah. So, in just allowing that to pass, okay, you don't have to brush your teeth. Eventually, they find what they like. They find what kind of hygiene they like. And the detachment is very important in that. I've talked to plenty of parents that go, oh yeah, I let my kids do whatever they wanted. And I thought that if I let them do whatever they wanted, that they'd turn out this certain way. Well, here's the trick. It's kind of like a trick. You could say it's an ego trick to go, well, if I do this, it's like a bargaining. If I do it like this, then isn't it going to turn out like this? You know, but the thing is, it's like the deepest fear, let that be felt right now. So I get the sense of my son being a loser in a basement, pale, depressed, overweight, bummed out, and I go, okay, give it to me right now. I don't want to resist it. I know this is just a feeling. Let me have that right now. And get the feeling of it right now. Just get the full feeling, the full body sensation of it, and it's okay. And when it's okay, there's not that tension there. They feel that. They feel it. They feel me. And then once it was really okay, and it took years, probably about 5 years, before it felt really okay that my son was a gamer. An all day long gamer. Felt really okay. People would come over and they'd go, oh yeah, what does your son do? Oh, he's an awesome gamer. That's what he does. Kind of like for a living. He does for like 16 hours every day. Really? He's like that much gaming? Yeah, he's really good at it. He's into it too. And it was probably just a couple of months, and my son comes up to me and he's like, hey Mom, I don't want to be a gamer anymore. And I go, okay. And he goes, what do I do? And I go, what do you want to do? And he's like, I don't know. You tell me what to do. And I said, I don't know what you should do. And he said, then I'm just going to keep on gaming because I don't know what else to do. And I go, it's okay, go ahead. It'll come to you. and sure enough, the next thing you know, he gets an idea that he wants to be in shape, so he just starts running. He starts running around the house first, then he's running down the street, and then he got into, found his own whatever it is that makes him smile. He found his joy, just in allowing whatever it is to play out. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It could be anything. You could find your kid is into drugs, for instance. Your kid is into drugs. What do you do when your kid is into drugs? There's nothing that you need to do except the feeling that's triggered by having that perception. Accept the feeling within your own body because that's your perception that your kid is on drugs. Let them have their experience, embrace your feeling, and guess what? They always come back to you. They always come back to you because you have that support for them and not the resistance, not the shame. There's no shame in anything. Just in allowing it to play out. Isn't this bad? Isn't this really bad, Mom? No, you're okay. You're okay. Shouldn't I be doing it different? No, you're okay. You're all right. Keep going like that. Got another story in there on bullying. Okay, I have 2 boys. They are about 6.5 years apart. At the time, the bigger one was about 12, and the younger one was 5 or 6. So there was a big difference in size, right? So I kept on getting this perception that the bigger one is bullying the smaller one. There's something wrong with the bigger one to be this mean. There's got to be something wrong with the big boy because he's just attacking that little kid, the poor innocent little kid, So I started to get this feeling, and maybe he needs to go to military school and straighten him out or something. And then I'm like, wait a minute, back to it's all me. It comes back to it's all me, okay? Because everything in the perception arises as a projection of the mind. Come back to it's all me. No one's doing anything here. It's an empty field. So what is this feeling like this big kid is doing something to the little kid? Let me see what this is. Why am I making this up? So I'm watching it, and it starts to go on again. It's like this energy play starts to go on again. And I get the feeling, because I know that everything, I can't perceive anything. I cannot perceive anything unless it's first a feeling in the body field. I can't have a perception of anything without the first being a feeling in the body field. So I feel. I just open up to feeling. And what that takes is not following the thoughts about it, like he's really bullying. Something's got to be fixed here. You know, someone's doing it wrong. Get that feeling. My big son turns to me and he goes, Mom, you're really pissed at me, aren't you? And I go, you know what? I got a sense that I was pissed at you. But I don't believe it. I just love you. And he's like, really? And I felt the energy just shift almost up through my crown, just like that. And never saw any bullying again. Never saw my sons bullying each other again. See? And that's how really the whole world is manifesting to us like that. Really the whole world. Why are they acting like that? Why are they doing that to me? Like, they love you, and it's what you want. So when there's an acknowledgement, is everything that I perceive my children doing, and anyone else for that matter, is exactly what I want. The heart is open. There's a space of compassion for myself and everyone, and we can connect. My kids can come to me with anything. They know that I don't have to hold on to anything. They can even come to me with their anger. I had my daughter coming recently with her anger. Mom, you're horrible. You're a horrible mom, and this is why you're a horrible mom. And I said, oh, good one. Thank you. She just looks at me. And she comes back. A couple days later, she comes back and it's like, Mom, I was really going through something there. Yes, thank you for sharing it with me. You see? So it's not like it has to go any particular way. I can take any expression that anyone, not only my children, to be everyone's my child, any expression that needs to be expressed, it's okay. My daughter was telling me, Mom, it is not okay. Everything is not always okay. And I go, that's okay. And it's just like, it lightens it up. People go, well, how can you just like be like that with everything that comes up? And it's like, well, you know, it's more like, how can you not? Because if you're taking anything seriously, you're just pretending like you know the meaning. You're pretending like you know something. But really, it's a joke. It is a joke. These bodies that arise as if they're us, as if we're inside of them. That's pretty fun. As if we're inside of them. I think we know too now in the scientific community, especially quantum physics and stuff like that, there's no one inside of these things. It's a perception. It's a perception. And whatever we see that denies eternal life, as in speaks to death, speaks to obligation, shame, aging, injury, illness, anything like that, it is a joke. It's meant to be laughed at, okay? And if there's a willingness there to see it like that, everything will become super funny to you. So, my friend wrote this little part back here, and she put one quote, and I'm going to read you this quote from the book. It kind of like sums up. Children are formed to express the spirit of freedom and inspire everyone to free themselves from the tyranny of a confused mind. So for me, my children became my teachers. Instead of me trying to tell them how they can fit into society, they became my teachers on how I can accept the freedom that's my birthright, and also in allowing that for them too. So hooray, everyone! Or
It says free spirit.
Yay.
To raise your kids.
I can't see hands if anyone's holding their hand. So if you have a shout out, shout out. Yay.
I think we're good.
Okay. Mahalo.
I think we're good.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna actually, I think I'll stand here and project because our last officer she will be dancing up the stairs. I know. Mary Lou Spinelli is an